Hey everybody, how's it going? Long time no see. It has been a while, but I am back and after recovering from pretty heavy jet lag. I thought I was over early, but I actually slept in until 5:30 p.m. this night, I guess. I was just absolutely exhausted. So, hopefully I'm back to normal, but we have a lot to go over because I did miss uploading any of these videos. So hopefully you haven't missed too much. Hopefully you were able to see my posts on Twitter or the Discord channel to get caught up. But for those of you who are dedicated YouTube only folks, I apologize for this being late, but let's catch up because we have over 88 slides to go through, and that's even removing all the dan da dan stuff, which is a current collab, and I will have that in a separate rundown video rather than going through in this news. So this is only including in-game updates, accepting any collab news. So please understand. And if you're looking for collab news, just wait for tomorrow's video, which will be dedicated to Dan Da Dan. So without further ado, let's get going. Day one, we started out with the announcement of Agnamu X and Agnamu X getting Shinju Shinkas, which makes sense. They are the oldest characters on the docket who should have gotten Shinju Shinkas, so it's good to see them. I think, well, at least for fire, at least. Agnamu here, and I am going to just skip over going through the kits here. So if you are interested on the details, just make sure you pause the video and take a closer look. They definitely have a lot of abilities there to go through, and hopefully everything is pretty obvious from what you see on screen. Agnamu X also got the nod here, and she does get a new ability. Strike shot turn charged EL is the first ever, and this one will give a -5 on the strike shot count if you hit a third friendly unit. So that's pretty cool to see there. Main bump combo getting a 30% boost is also pretty interesting. Yeah, and of course the strike shot being new, where you get that pierce and a poisoning and extra damage to the weak point. Definitely interesting to see as well. Then we also got Onyx getting a Jushinka Kai, and as far as I could see, I could not find a kit with the normal screen, so I had to just throw it out here in text. So um, yeah, I mean, if you want to take a look, that's Onikis's ability. Of course, he is available already for you to use. And then we have some in-game updates. We are finally hitting 22, floor 22 of the dunes, and that does mean we will get our fifth and final key to unlock the soul badges, right? Remember, with this key, you can unlock a third soul badge for each element, and this one's the fifth one, so you will now be able to have all five available for you at any time. The dunes will be back on the 14th of October. And then we are right into version 31.0, and 31.0 is huge. This is what I was expecting from 30.0, but maybe they just weren't ready to push it out on 30. It's just a number, right? So once they have this is a big update. Absolutely a big update. First, everybody will get 200 box space. They're basically increasing the original box space for new users from 400 to 600 to begin with, which I think is actually pretty important. Having to use orbs for box space early in the game is not a good feeling, especially when orbs is something you want to use for gacha pulls really, really urgently. So to give everybody 600 to begin with is great. That does mean everybody who has already played will get that bonus as well. So everybody will get 200 extra space once version 31.0 drops. Also, for those people who are at the limit has been increased to 8,700 box spaces. And then this is huge. This is what I was saying. If we had this, it would make more sense. But for the bank, you can now deposit your berries into the bank directly. So if this is a berry that you do not want for this particular character, you can instead drop it off into the bank instead. I think that's huge. That actually makes a whole lot of sense. You don't want to put it on a monster and then have to push it out. It gives it, or overwrite anything, right? You can just put it into the bank directly now, which I think is a. Ooh, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Bit my tongue there a little bit. But direct deposit to from the temple is a pretty huge update, in my honest opinion. Actually makes it somewhat useful, where it was absolutely worthless in my mind beforehand. There are 3 new cages that you can get as a bonus with this update. You just need to get to rank 500 for one, you need to have login for 100 days for the second, and you need to clear the abyss one time after the update drops to get the third. You do not have to clear the Shinen stage to get that cage, you just need to clear the base abyss area, which I think most people should be able to do fairly easily. So that's a total of 7 cages you can have at any point at the moment. They did say that they will possibly add more in the future, so look forward to that in a future update. We are getting a new stage for the temple, and this one's also interesting because this will now give you an ability to directly get an EL Ableberry. Now, it does say Goku Mare here, so it's more than the Mare that they usually say. When they usually say Mare, I'm like, yeah, it's rare, but not that. But Goku Mare, I think it will actually be legitimately a hard drop to get. Do note that when you are playing this stage, you will not be able to use the berry counter, which of course will slowly eliminate berries until you get it. This is just straight up luck. So if you are looking for the EL Ableberry, you can play this other stage instead. We'll have to see how hard it actually is or not. It would have to be pretty accessible to all units, but I don't know. We'll see. Pretty cool update for the temple. We haven't had an update for the temple in quite a while, I feel. Monpast updates. For those of you who have either the regular or the premium one, the maximum amount of Shinjushinka materials you can have is increased from 2,000 to 3,000, which is a pretty big update. But for premium pass users, and this is pretty huge, the amount of drops, chest drops you can get for the Shinjushinka materials increases from 3 boxes to 5 boxes, and that does make it an interesting proposal. A little bit annoying that it's hidden behind a pass, but hopefully they update that for all of us, because the dribble we get for those materials is pretty darn annoying. And then I don't know, this is pretty, it's cosmetic, but if you want to add stickers to you know, to your, I don't know, backgrounds, you now have the ability to do that. You'll get some seal gacha balls, which you can apply stickers to backgrounds. Every week you'll get 10 seal gachas that you can gacha for, which will give you various amount of stickers that you can play around with. So you can see, you can throw it on your waiting screen if you want to make it all fancy. Great. They have seasons for these stickers as well, so Season 1 Part 1 lasts until April 1st, 2026, where I guess we'll get a new set of stickers, and yeah, you can get 10, you'll get 10 seal balls as a present when the update drops. So, enjoy decorating. Now, this is huge. The events are changing, and this is a huge fundamental change on how it works, so hopefully this makes sense. Right now there's a specified schedule. Between this hour and this hour you can play this quest. Between this next hour and this next hour you can play this quest, right? That is going to change completely. After version 31.0 there will be a block of quests that you can play for those 24 hours. That resets at noon Japan time and lasts until 11:59 a.m. the next day. And how this works is, for all of the quests that is available for you in that 24-hour period, you are able to play that for 2 hours. You get to choose how that 2 hours is distributed. Let me say that again. You do not have to play a specific quest at a specific time anymore, as long as it's within the 24-hour window that Monster Strike gives you to play it. You can pick when you want to play it. Huge, especially huge for us outside of Japan. Now, of course, it's the main thing is the fact that, you know, you have to go to work, you have, you know, maybe late night work, you have late night activities, you want to go out with friends instead, and then you have this quest that you really want to play that's in prime time hours. You are not bound by that anymore which is huge. Let's take a look at more details here, right? So how this is going to work is now each quest has a remaining time counter, right? Normally, right, you still have 2 hours to play a quest, right? That is not different from what you see right now. Let's say you play that quest and finish it in 10 minutes. That counter will decrease by 10 minutes and says you now have 1 hour and 50 minutes left of playtime for this quest. This is important. This is not a timer from when you start playing the quest. This is a spent gauge of in-game time. So the thing you have to worry about here is you don't want to have your game left open and you just leave it open, right? If you do that and you come back later, it's like, oh shoot, I had the game on, right. You are spending your timer on that quest. So you got to be careful about that. But think about that. You get to distribute your playtime of those 2 hours however you want. If you start the quest, play it for 10 minutes, and you're like, okay, I'm good. I need to go hang out with friends for a little bit. You come back 4 hours later. There's still 1 hour 50 minutes left on that gauge. And you can play it now however you want. Maybe you play for an hour. It's like, okay, I'm tired now. Take a little break. Come back 3 hours later. You still have enough time left. You can still play, right? Now, there are 2 things to watch out for. Debut quest will still have a specific time when it starts. So you do have until that period, until 11:59 a.m. for the end of that day. That boundary, right, to play that quest. But it still gives you that freedom to wiggle around because it is 11:59 a.m. the next day rather than 4 a.m., right? So as long as, for us in the States, as long as you still are able to log in by, the day refresh, you still have the opportunity to play that, which I think is huge. If it's a 24/7 quest, there's no counter or anything, right? Because you can just play it whenever you want. So don't worry about that. Time shifts. Now, how will time shifts works is basically if you have a quest and that quest is now at 0, you have used up all your allotted time, or it was within 48 hours of its original slot, right? That day slot that you have. You can use the time shift clock, the bell, to recover 1 hour of playtime. Again, same rules apply. You have 1 hour that you can play, but you must do that within 3 hours of using it. Sorry, I didn't translate that on screen. I just noticed it right now. But when you use the bell, you have to use it within 3 hours of using that bell. So you can't just leave it there and just have it available at all times. Now, if you have any time remaining, you can co-op with anyone else who also have time remaining. You still need to actually have time remaining. If you don't, you need to use a bell if you have that available for you. Now, an important thing with this update is that the stock feature will be retired with this update. You are not going to be able to carry it over, for future days. So this might have some impact with Monster Strike Day, right? There's been some strategies, right, where you have a quest and then you stock it so that you can play it. But you still can use the bell, right? And that bell is active for 48 hours of its original slot. So I think in the end, it's a good update. It's something, it doesn't actually make that much sense given the feature that we have here. I don't know. Because, right, if you stocked it, you would only be able to do one play, right? I don't know. Interesting. But we'll see how that works. I do think that the bell will make up for, and the way the events work now will make up for the fact that the stock feature is no longer present. So important change, but I think it is all for the better. We do have new quests for the library, and then these quests will be given, when you clear these quests, you'll get 2 orbs as a reward rather than the usual 1. In addition, the first season Reizetsu quest will finally enter the library, and you may use your Miracle Mins in the library to play these Reizetsu quests. And as a side note, the Miracle Min usage will not reset your bonus streak, so do not worry about that. Now you might be thinking, library quests are now 2 orbs? What's going on that, right? And so it's not just these ones. It's all Chozetsu quests or higher will give you 2 orb rewards. That's cool. What about the old ones? Good question. The old ones, they're going to be reset. So, yes, all the old ones will apply. You need to go and finish the library now. And this, I apologize for posting this late if you didn't know this. If you only get news from my channel, I apologize for being late for this because something else happened. But clear those library quests because it is going to be reset. The reward for clearing those quests for the first time, which is 1 orb right now, will be reset with the new strategy. All other quests will be 1 orb, but anything Chozetsu or higher will be 2 orbs going forward, starting from 31.0. So make sure you go clear those quests and get your 1,000 orbs that are waiting for you. Another huge update is the friend character change. Now, instead of just 1 unit, you can now set 5. 1 for each element. This is huge. This is great. This is amazing. Yeah, this is huge. The game will now automatically set the new monster to its respective element slot when you change monsters. It's not like you're gonna say this is fire, this is wood. Just go ahead and just change your monsters, and it'll automatically update the specific element slot for you in game. So it just you don't have to do that manual work. I think that's great. That's awesome. So take advantage of that. The update for this version 31.0 is expected to take place mid-October, so it should be a few weeks away. That does mean you want to move on clearing out your library quests if you have not done so already. Again, there's 1,000+ orbs waiting for you in there. Please do not miss out on that. Just the only downside is, just the sheer amount of time, and hopefully you have enough Erebetter bells to make up for the library points, because you are restricted by the amount of library points you have to play quests. But if you use the Erebetter bell, there is a campaign where the points used is just set to 0, so that should help you finish those off, even though you may not have enough points. Alright, we do have some hints for the anime that's coming up for Monster Strike. Deadverse Reloaded. We've got specific characters. Jugemu, Rinne, Yakumo, and Neo are main characters, and their respective character voices. They are going to be available on many streaming services. What is notable is that it's available on the YouTube channel and TVer. TVer is a very popular service that you can watch shows for free on if you have a VPN active. But those will only have the newest episode. So as long as you keep up with the anime as it goes live, you can watch it for free on YouTube with no problem. So don't miss out on that. There will be a special live for the anime featuring one of my 2 favorite comedians right now. I got Seiya from Shimofuri Myojo and Hikorohi, who also has a show with my favorite idol Saito Kyokorohi. And these 2 are really good friends also. So they know nothing about Monster Strike, and they're gonna have a Monster Strike anime quiz, which I think is hilarious. That'll be tomorrow, October 7th, and split into 2 parts. Next week we will also have them on air, so I'm looking forward to that at least. And it's actually going to be the 10th year anniversary for the anime, so we're gonna see the Monster Strike the movie, Lucifer's Zetsubo no Yoake, will be available on the YouTube starting October 10th, and will be available for a week. So if you were unable to watch that, make sure you go and check it out on the official YouTube channel. Pretty awesome. And then we had the reveal for Dandadan, and like I said at the beginning of this video, we are going to have all of that news in a separate video, so please take a look at that. I'm going to skip that for this video and go straight into the 12th year campaign details. And the key visual here is Monst kudarane, just like bleh. More, Monst is boring, Monst is worthless, right? Like, What the heck? We got a famous comedian here. Nagano is the comedian here, and you may have seen him cut in some of your gacha poll. But he is going to be our main character for the 12th year anniversary. And this is the thing that I was going to say. I apologize for skipping, not doing this in time, because there was the guaranteed Toku L berries as well as 0 point spending on the library. If it's any consolation, the only time I played any of it was on the way to the airport, because even when I got to the airport, the Wi-Fi was just throttling all my games, so I could barely play anything, which kind of sucked. But hopefully you took advantage of that. And you probably saw on your main screen that the 12th year anniversary popular vote is available right now. It will be available until I guess it's on the next screen. But make sure, if you don't know how this works, is everybody gets the opportunity to vote on one monster that they would like in the top 100. The top 100 makes it into the pool for the gacha and is separated into 6 groups, one of them being the top 20, and then the other 5 splitting them by rank. Those monsters will be the only monsters that you can, oh sorry, those monsters will be part of the pool of the guaranteed monster you get in that gacha. That 10 pull gacha is of course free, but one of them is guaranteed. Now, the pool of each group is 20 characters, and just like last year, you have the opportunity to pull one monster out of the group you pick and replace it with any other monster that's in the top 100. So for this example, group A is this set of 20 monsters, and this person has decided to take out Mitokomon and replace it with Eru, who was in group B. So you are able to do that this year as well. So make sure you make your vote, and the next Monster Strike news will almost certainly have the midterm results, and you can change your vote as a response to that. You know, make sure you want to keep a monster that's in like the 17, 18, 19, 20 slot in, or you want to push a monster that's in the 21, 22, 23, 24 slot to make it into the top 20. Up to you to decide. And of course, just like every year, we have the 12th year anniversary Gozetsu thank you co-op gacha, where everybody gets to do a pull and you all share your results together. This is of course another free gacha pull. And just like previous years, like last year, I think, definitely last year, I'm not sure if it was multiple years, but this time you will choose as well which gacha you want to pull from. Chouju Shinsai, Geki Jushinsai, Monkole DX, Oriental Travelers, and so on and so on. Monst Generations 2019 of course is a new gacha, and that is included in this gacha as well. This gacha pull will start this week on October 10th and will last until November 11th. Now let's take a look at the details here for those of you who are not interested or not familiar with it. Everybody gets to do their 10 pull, and you get to pick a monster from each gacha pull. This year, however, you can now select multiple monsters from the same gacha. So you are going to want to make sure that everybody finishes their pull so that you basically have a pool of 40 monsters to pick from. And you can select which monsters you want from which gacha in any configuration you want. So in this example, this person has picked twice from the first player's pool, one from the second, one from the third, and none from the fourth. You can customize how you want to pick your gacha pulls. This is pretty awesome, because if you have just a bad pull from one of your friends, you can just ignore it now. You don't have to sell for it. Or if you've got, oh my god, I have 2 monsters that I really want from my gacha. You have 3 monsters you want. You have 4 monsters you want. Go ahead, pick all 4 from that gacha. You can decide how you want to distribute your pulls from. I think that is awesome. That is awesome. But that's not the only change that's coming, because the second change here is that you get +1 based on the number of people you gacha with. So if you maximize your gacha pull with 4 people, you do not get just 4 monsters. You can get 5 monsters this year. So that's a huge change, and make sure you don't miss out on that. It's an important change, so make sure you take advantage of it properly. And you probably know we get free orbs 50 per month until December. Those are monthly orbs, though. You must use them or lose them by the end of that specific month. You got your October orbs already. They gave it to us a little bit early on September 29th, but they must be used in their respective months before they disappear. And of course, this was a pretty cool announcement that for October's edition of the Hashanoto Tower of Champions, we will get not just 68 orbs as a clear reward, but the reward will be 100 orbs, an extra 32 just for because Mixie said so. So thank you, Mixie. That is awesome. Make sure you don't miss out on clearing the Tower of Champions this month. It's only this month, so don't get used to it. And yeah, that's a quick summary of the updates here. We will skip to the Jushinka news. And like I said before, we're just going to fly through these and not go through the kits individually. So, and of course, these are all available already. So if you have not done so already, make sure you Jushinka Kai or Shin Jushika them as necessary. So first we got Hinata here. And she gets the first super chip saw, which is pretty cool to see. Then we have Zeus finally getting the nod for Shin Jushinka, and cool to see him here. Interesting that they gave him Divine Pillar for the bump combo, which I'm actually pretty happy about. That's cool to see. And it's also interesting that his assist skill is giving all the other non-Shin Jushinka units minus 25% from any elemental damage attacks. Robin Hood finally gets the nod here. I don't know. His ability. It's hard to fight in the wood element, so I don't know if Robin Hood has gotten any good use meanwhile, but yeah. And then of course the big surprise that all second gen angels would be getting a Jushinka Kai. I know people were saying it was possible, but you know, pretty cool to see actually happen. Sandalphon going first, her hair going crazy now. I think all the angels got regen L as part of their connect skill, so that's cool to see. And she's the first to get that super reflect shockwave 18. And yeah, that was dishing out some pretty good damage when I was playing around with her in game. Metatron looking great as well. Bash and Delay, I guess that's a first, which is surprising to me. He does get two new bomb combos. First time we get the all enemy windmill, as well as the twin one-way laser EL in the super flavor as well. Then we have Zadkiel, which also has an Easter form if you have that. So congrats to you. That Easter form looks amazing. Do keep in note that her requirement is an and, so be careful about that. And the super reflect growing shots being first in the super flavor is cool to see as well. Then we have Ramiel. Of course, Ramiel also has a Christmas form, and she has Burst Spinner as a first, as well as Tribe Pulse getting the Bakuzetsu flavor for the first time, which is cool to see. And finally, we have Kamael, who also has a Christmas version, which I think looks really awesome. And she, yeah, interesting that she has changed pretty drastically. Her bump combo no longer has the crazy lasers anymore, which is a bit of a bummer to see. But she does have really good use for the Mausoleum's EX stage. So if that's something you want to play, Kamel is a huge boon to that class. There is a special gacha that is available right now, so hopefully you have taken advantage of it if you want, where all 5 angels are in the pickup for that rather than their specific elemental gachas. So if you want the angels, this is your opportunity to pull them. And of course, just like last year, you get 1 for free, so make sure you don't miss out on that. You have until the 9th of October Japan time to get that free angel, so make sure you get your free angel. It is guaranteed to get 1. It's a single pull, but you get 1 out of 5, so do not miss out on that. And these are the event rewards. You have already gotten them in game if you've taken them from your box. And they finished it with this great teaser saying that Izanami is going to get a Jushinka. I am super stoked for this. I am really excited to see how this ends up. Hopefully they don't screw up. I assume she's going to have a quest that we need to clear. Izanami back in the day was hard. It was very, very hard. So hopefully they give her justice, and hopefully her Jushinka form gives her justice, because she was a strong character back in the day, rivaled by Kushinada, really. So I am really excited to see, you know, how Izanami will evolve and then Kushinada will evolve, because Kushinada was a strong monster for the longest time. She was, if not stronger than a lot of gacha characters. So I'm super looking forward to Kushinada. I have confidence that Mixie will not screw this up. Not really, but we'll see. Okay, and then we have the most recent news. We're going to fly through this as well. Again, just a reminder to use or lose your orbs. Here we go. The vote, you have until the 13th to do that. Again, we'll have our midterm results in a few days, so please do not miss out on that. You can adjust your vote that way. You can vote now anyway, but you can change it later. This is not coming soon, but is active now, so please don't miss out on that. Tower of Champions, remember, 100 orbs. We already talked about that. Rank reward, we didn't talk about this. As part of the 12th year anniversary, if you have reached rank 120, which is doable by anyone if you properly finish all the normal quests, and make sure you take advantage of the EXP boost that you can get. If you don't know how that works, please ask in the Discord channel to get help on that. But 120, absolutely doable by anybody. 1,200, not so much. But if you have reached 1,200, you can get a second free single pull for a 6-star general pool monster. Also, starting on the 10th, we will have the Cho Bakugo Rave Fest, where you will see high difficulty quests packed into the schedule. So please enjoy those difficult quests at all times of the day. There will be also a special 12th year anniversary pack at only a 1,000 yen, where you will get not a new monster, you'll get a monster that debuted between year 11 and year 12 of the game. One monster is guaranteed, and limited time monsters like the alpha monsters are possible. Of course, this does not include any collab characters, but limited and limited time limited monsters are available in this gacha. Also get 8 orbs for your trouble as well. This will be available starting from the 10th until the end of October. And for those of you who are wanting 2 copies of this, you can get a second copy if you purchase it from the web store. So this is a web store exclusive. So if you want to get it from the web store, make sure you do that. Remember, Mixie wants to push that as much as possible, because they get direct money from you rather than through Apple and Google, who take a cut of their money. Monpass trial is active until the 11th. You probably saw that on login. Make sure you take advantage of that. Don't forget, this does mean you get 2 free extra pulls on the Gacha Lidora Lab. So make sure you go in there and pick up your 2 free summonings, and hopefully they have a monster you want. Junshika Kai for this week was Mr. Empire. It's pretty funny that his strike shot was just completely in English. And yeah, you can take a look at his kit there. But yeah, we are here already on the 6th, so news is already around the corner. Dandadan is active, the Angels Gacha is active, the voting for the 12th year anniversary is active, the Monpass trial is active, and yeah, I think that's it. So remember, the Tower of Champions is right around the corner at 100 orbs for clearing. Don't miss out on that. Next news will be at the usual time on the 9th, and I should be back in regular form by then, so you should get news at a proper pace then. And the lucky monsters that are active right now are the following. So here you go. Once again, apologize for these news details for being so late, but hopefully it has been useful, and I'm sure most of it you already knew, but this is good to make sure you got it all. So thank you for sitting around for 35 minutes almost. If you're still here, then let me give you my utmost thanks. And of course, if you have not done so already, do consider hitting the like button and subscribing as well. Twitter, Monst, and the Discord channel, link to the server is in the description below. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.